I'm going to be breaking down the difference between a dropshipping brand and a dropshipping store. Sounds similar, but completely different, okay? Now, this is one of the things I'm setting out to change in the current direct-to-consumer setup, because I see a lot of dropshippers who are on this pump and dump cycle, okay? Like, this is no fun for anyone to be on. It's just constantly a case of find a product, probably a shit product with no proper market. It doesn't solve a proper problem, and then they go and build a store and then run some ads and get nothing back and wonder why, and then they say the Facebook ads don't work, TikTok ads don't work. They're basically outsourcing the problem and saying that it's nothing to do with them or their ability to find, source, pitch and sell a good product, and it's all about the software and the systems, okay? Now, I disagree with this heavily because I've built and scaled multiple brands now from inception to high seven figures annually, profitably as well. So I know if you find a good product and you have a very good ecosystem and structure on the back end, trust me, like, there's a market for pretty much every single product that has ever existed. That's always been the case. Like, trust me, it's very easy just to see a few guys online, say on social media, on Instagram, and it looks like they're living this crazy Dubai lifestyle of Lamborghinis and Rolexes and APs, whatever, and then they'll show one or two of their dropshipping store, so they found a good product, okay, and they have doubled down on it, and don't get me wrong, they have probably done well, but in the way that they pitch that you're going to be able to emulate the same success that they've had and do it very quickly, 9 times out of 10 that's just a myth. I've been in the ecom game almost a decade. It will be exactly a decade in November this year in 2024, and I've been on a whole journey, and I understand now that with business, and not just in ecom, and you have to be okay with this, by the way, the struggle is guaranteed, but the success isn't. And you have to ask yourself, are you okay with that? Okay. Now, one thing I do say is that success leaves clues. And if you're able to leverage the failures, the systems, the first principles thinking, everything of those who've actually been successful in it, it's actually possible, very possible for you to make dropshipping a success. But the thing that I see time and time again is that everyone struggles with understanding the difference between finding a product, like a proper product that solves a very real world problem, and just picking anything that's hot or trending that has no kind of really well-defined niche or market, and then just kicking off that it's not working, even though apparently you've tried everything. I promise you, you have not tried everything, okay? And a lot of the time it is, the hard part is finding a good product. But what if you don't actually have to find a right product? What if it's something that you can actually develop? Maybe there's an existing concept or idea that you can improve, you can iterate upon. But first of all, the 2 things you want to be looking for is a starving market with a bleeding neck. What does that mean? It basically means that there's a very strong pain point, and that these guys, these potential customers, are very clearly well defined, but they also have a really strong why, okay? And if your product can be positioned as a painkiller, okay, then it's almost stupid for your consumers not to buy, because it's so obvious that it solves the problem and it has tons of reinforcement and reviews, etc. Again, once you start seeing these products and you focus more on the problems, it becomes a lot easier for you to actually know what to buy, what to build a store around, and then how to push on the pain points of your target audience and market. But it doesn't always have to be that complicated, okay? Let me give you an example. So last week I did a community call, a coaching community call in my direct-to-consumer ecom accelerator school. You can see it on the screen here, okay? We have hundreds of members now, and this is only a few months old as well, and this is kind of where I'm collecting all of my knowledge, and I'm just literally giving everything away for free. So if you want access, link will be in the description. But anyway, on the previous call, I spent about half an hour running through the difference between a branded dropshipping store and just a standard pump and dump store, okay? I made an extensive list just of the 2 things. I think it was just the homepage and also the PDP, because I wanted you to see firsthand how these websites look to me, okay? And it's quite an interesting story. So I think it was just a random Sunday. It was actually on the day of the community call. Sometimes you get these random ads pop up in Instagram, okay? And it was for, I don't know, it was like a cuddly toy or something random that I don't know why it was in my algorithm, but I thought, okay, let's just click on it, because I like to look at how landing pages are architected, how they're structured, okay, irrespective of the ad. now I'm in this operator mindset, and I have been for a long time. I like to see how e-com stores structure their whole funnel. So if it looks like a good product, I'll mostly I'll try and funnel hack them basically, okay? I know it's not great for the advertiser because there's no buying intent, but sometimes I can make this into a good thing by being able to draw conclusions, or what are they doing well, what are they not doing so well, so I can kind of reverse manufacture what not to do or what to do, okay? So I did this experiment. So now I'm in this algorithm of like cute cuddly toys. Maybe literally like an hour or two after, Facebook presented me with another similar product from an actual brand, and the difference between them was stark. Like, it was crazy. I'll show you. Let me just switch tabs on here so you can see exactly what we're looking at. Okay, this was it. So again, I just did like a really quick analysis. Like, it's not a huge in-depth video, but it's quite interesting to see because there's a lot of insights for you just purely from a high level, and these are things that I see all of the time that you're probably oblivious to. So I really hope this is valuable for you. So let's just have a very quick look at the stores. Now, before I say anything, I want you to guess which one is the dropshipping store and which one is the brand. It doesn't matter how it works on the back end. The main thing is that it's an actual brand, okay? So let's click on the first one. Let's check it out. When it decides to load. Okay, so look at this, nice and clean, okay? A nice pop-up on here, nice visuals, great photography, very clean UX, mission orientated, nice and clean, great use of white space, clear-cut hero products, affinity products as well, which are built in. Very nice, very clean. I know I'm looking at this on a desktop view and it would probably 90% be on mobile, but just for the sake of the video, we'll look at it on here. Now I'm going to go back to the other one here. Where are we? This decides to work, and I'm going to go on this one. Now look at the difference. These are very similar products. Once you see one, you see now this is a dropshipping store, okay? And it looks horrific. Like, again, no, I don't want to kind of badmouth whoever the store owner is for this, because you know what, they're probably doing really well. But just in terms of the way it is structured and set up, you can just tell this looks tacky and cheap. It's probably going to be really hard to scale. Let's just look at a couple of the key elements just on this home page, okay? So again, we're leading with a discount, like no clear UX. Is this a button? Is this a whole clickable image? What is it? Why are you directing me to social media? Because guess what? Okay, let's click on here, and then now I'm directed off into Instagram. Now I'm stuck in the feed, and you've just paid for eyeballs to come to the website, and they've just gone off and they start scrolling, and you've lost them forever. Remember, people online don't give you much time. They will give you probably maximum, I think the average is like 3 to 7 seconds of attention on your store to figure out if this is something they're interested in. Like, is it something that they would maybe buy? Is it solving a problem? So if you're directing them straight away to Instagram, I understand they're doing it for social proof, but in terms of the whole UX, they're running traffic to this homepage as well, which is a really bad idea. But again, you get the idea. Now look at this. This is just an endless scroll of products and products and products, yeah? Like, this is no fun for anyone, any user experience basically. Like, I don't know what are you directing me what are you directing me for? Is it like a specific product that's a bestseller? I don't know. Why are you leading with discounts? That to me says you can't shift your inventory, or you've got a loss. That's kind of, you've got stock that you haven't been able to move, so now you have to run discounts to get rid of it. You know what I mean? Like, if the optics aren't great, okay? So you can definitely see the difference between this store right there. Sorry, this is just joking. When it decides to come back, where are you at? Let's just reopen this one again, shall we? I'm trying to toggle through using the keyboard things. All right, so we've got 3 and 4. Now look at this. Now they're selling very similar products, okay? But you can see the difference completely. Like, it's night and day to me, okay? And I guarantee this store is probably going to be doing 10x, or even if it isn't right now from a revenue perspective, because they're brand building, the legacy of this is going to be so much better, okay? So yeah, a few just pointers, and you can look at this in your own time, obviously it's on the screen, but just like basic things that everyone gets wrong, that no one thinks about, that actually do have a meaningful impact on the back end. So look at this one. So dropshipping on the left and your branded on the right. So first of all, this, when it's loading, it's just literally a white page. This one has a logo load, okay? Again, it's just a bit of a nicer UX. It's a small thing. It's one of those like 0.1% things, but it's just a much nicer experience for the consumer. Again, small thing, but it does, like, my thing with dropshipping and what I tell everyone is just be in the mindset that everyone who clicks your ad and goes to your website for the first time, just think and assume that they automatically come with the thought of this is a scam. Okay, so you have to do and structure everything in such a way where you stack bricks on the fact that this is a proper store, a proper brand, real people running it. It's not something where anyone can put their credit card details in and it's probably going to get cloned. You know what I mean? Like all of this stuff, you have to be able to make sure that the optics on your website are strong, and little things like these do make a difference in terms of just the whole consumer experience, their satisfaction level. Again, it just all comes together. So like, it's small, but it's really important. And again, if you're just kind of cycling through products, it's expensive to buy .com domains, and this is why I say if you can focus the extra time on finding a proper product that solves a really high pain point. Think about what I said before, starving market with a bleeding neck, yeah? And all of a sudden it's fine, it's an investment to have that .com domain, okay? And it doesn't necessarily have to have any affinity to what you're actually selling as well. So again, just a small thing. Next one, hero image. This page here is a sale. This one is, again, it's all mission orientated. It's nice, clear, direct UX to the product. Call to action, clear on one, not clear on the other. So again, I'll move this out of the way, but you can see a nice clear UX. All right, it encourages the click. Everything kind of sticks out, whereas on this one, if it'll let me switch over, this is like, it's just horrible, man. Like, it's not nice. So you get the idea, okay? Like, do I click here? Is this the whole page? If I click this, where's this going to take me to? More endless scrolls. You get the idea. Okay, so that's all about this one. The second section is linking straight to social media. Just go back. Bad idea. If you're going to put social media on, put it right at the bottom, okay? Just as a bit of extra social proofing, as one of those kind of pre-flight checks that someone, like a customer, is going to do just to check you're a legitimate brand, you're putting content out there, and you're not a scam, okay? Like, these guys have probably done that, have they? Right at the bottom. Yep, there we go, nice and clean. Understand? Again, I talked about the endless scroll on this store as well, how it's just like a relentless barrage of products, whereas these guys actually have their sellers, their main products in specific collections. So you can see this, like, again, it's all mission orientated, okay? All makes sense. These as collections, and not just a bunch of random products put together. Collection again, okay? But the main thing for these guys is the main thing, which is all about these mission-based cows or Highland cows, okay? Which we'll get into when we look into the PDP. Next one, UGC at the bottom, whereas, let me show you what I mean by this. So the UGC on this, if assuming anyone actually gets to the end of this endless scroll, they have UGC like towards the bottom around here, whereas this should be way higher up should be way up the hierarchy, okay? Whereas on the other ones, they're actually using media logos. Again, it's just more social proofing, okay? Let me see if I can find it for you. Like things like these, right? Again, it can be a lot cleaner. I'm not saying this is like the perfect store by any means, but it's a good example of a branded store. It's just more good social proofing, and the way that it's implemented as well in the UX is it flows quite nicely, okay? So you saw the email pop up when we first went onto the store before. I actually had it here. Like, how nice and clean is this? Yeah, like, it is leading with a discount, but it's not a discount. It's a value-based discount. Like, it's a really good magnetic offer that's actually going to be worth the exchange of value from a consumer. Like, it gives the consumer a good reason to exchange and to give their email. It's one of those offers that why would you not want to do this? Whereas on this other store, there's nothing. There's not been an email pop-up at all. And remember, we say that on average it takes consumers between 4 to 7 touch points with a brand before they'll actually buy. Like, there's an endless amount of things. There's no kind of proper offer that's coming up. Therefore, if that person doesn't convert there and then, they're lost forever, and they're just going to have to rely on paying more and retargeting ads. Whereas once you have them in your ecosystem via your email, so once you have that email address from them and there's a good, strong magnetic offer and fair exchange of value, this is when now you can actually start to leverage automations on the back end to build more information on the brand, on the founders, on the mission, on the product. So it's okay. This is your 4 to 7 plus touch points that's actually going to work and has a much higher likelihood of you getting the conversion on the back end. So really important. And I tell this to everyone on every call, every dropshipper, and I'd probably say 8 out of 10 don't even have Klaviyo set up at all. The opportunity cost of that for me is absolutely crazy. So please do not skip that step. All right, next one. Again, look at the footer links on this. I remember this from last time. What is all this? There's so much going on. Yeah, there's just no need for it. Whereas you compare it to these guys, nice and clean. Yeah, lovely. Everything here is here for a reason. Okay, very nicely architected. Right, let's look at this as well. So see how these are nice and clean, okay? Everything's collection based, is mission orientated, a good use of white space. Now let's look at the other one. All of this stuff. It's just not a nice experience, okay? If you can kind of bring them together and have something like special occasions, fair enough, but this is just not nice. Use your white space well and make sure that you architect the UX so that it's as easy as possible for your consumers to navigate, particularly if you don't know who you are, what your brand is, or what you're selling. Just streamline it, because the second you make them have to stop and think and take time out of their day, remember, we're in the attention economy. Once you've actually been able to capture that attention from an ad, you need to be able to point them in a direction that you want them to go, as opposed to letting them navigate their own way around, because they'll end up somewhere you don't want them and they're just not going to convert. So just try and architect that as much as possible, okay? It's the same thing basically, but there is no like clear UX on this store. They're sending you everywhere, it's just random products. Whereas in this one, again, it's very well put together, okay? The ad itself was for this product, and this is that hero product. Again, mission oriented, I keep saying that because that is so important. We'll come to the PDP in a second, but the way this is put together is just so much better than the other one. Again, like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Let's click on this, let's see where this takes us. Just to more products. Endless scroll of products. Okay, so the cause link, yeah, we've talked about the mission. The mission is the main call to action on the homepage as well for this brand. Let's see if I can show you what I mean by that. This is the one that loads straight away. This one, okay? So all of a sudden it's not about selling hats or cuddly toys, it's actually about saving animals, about wildlife, about nature, about conservation. Now this has a point of difference. Like, think of brands like Patagonia, they do this really well, okay? Really good for you to emulate as well and try and build it into your own store. Okay, so no founder story, no storytelling. Honestly, this is so important for small businesses who want to become brands, because people buy from people. That's the concept, that's the principle here. And if you don't give them, if you pretend to be this faceless brand who's just there for profit or just there for the quick sell, trust me that it's way less of an offer than actually having something where it's mission oriented, there's a reason for being, there's a story, and that builds that personal connection with the consumer. Say you're competing against each other and everything's the same, but one brand has a good strong founder story, key being story, and one doesn't. The one with the founder story is probably going to win 9 times out of 10. And again, I'll show you what this means. So there's nothing here, like there's no about us, there's no like what's their reason for being. It doesn't really exist, okay, especially not in that top menu. Whereas these guys, okay, look how clean this is, a nice load, okay. Very good, very well put together. And again, I'm not saying this is the perfect website at all, but as a good point of reference to contrast, it is completely different, way better, okay? So there's a lot that you can learn from this. Talked about the header links, and these are like consolidated and simple. I think we talked about this one here. The call to action is a club on this one, so like, where is it? It might be on here. They don't even have an email sign up at all. Nothing there. Let me just see if I can refresh this just to make sure it's not just me. No, nothing. It's not even because I've got cookies on it as well. Again, you get the idea. I don't want to kind of belate it, but we've talked about how important getting customers into your email flow is on the front end, and then you're not so dependent just on paid traffic all of the time. Okay, let's have a look at the PDP. So PDP is the product page. So again, I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to pick, but let's just pick the one on the top left. Like, this as a picture is not good. Literally, you can see them taking a picture on the phone, and this is the hero image as well. Let's contrast this with these guys. So, let me show you. This is the one that the ad came up for, so we'll focus on this one. This is like their main hero product. Okay, so clean, proper product photography, yeah? High resolution, yeah? Now, why is this important? The reason this is important, contrast this to this one over here. You see the difference? Worlds apart. So remember, when we're selling direct to consumer, you have to be able to convey a lot more than just what the product is. You have to get the senses across, what it feels like, Again, if it's a consumable, the taste, the smell, the textures, because you can't touch and feel or smell anything through pixels, okay? So your use of media becomes incredibly important. And if you're not focusing on that and you're just kind of taking rubbish iPhone pictures, again, don't get me wrong, you can take really good pictures on an iPhone, but if you're not investing in proper product photography, like the strength of your content is everything, and your content is broken down into 3 things. These are your 3 steps: images, video, and copywriting. And they all need to be properly dialed in and working for you and not against you, okay? This is a little bit better, but then again, it just looks dark and grim. It's just not nice, okay? Again, look at this, just as a good contrast. High res product photography. I'm sure they've got use of videos in here as well. There we go. Well muted, but again, you get the idea how this is all mission orientated. Keep saying it because it's so important when you're selling something that literally doesn't have a huge amount to do. Like they're literally selling cuddly toys, okay? But once you make it about something, this is how you build a proper brand, like a meaningful brand, okay? So I don't want to spend too much time on that, but you get the idea of how important this is. Okay, so add to cart and long scroll. So what I mean by that is, there we go, it's not in the hero section, okay? On these guys, I'll go back to the top, it is in the hero section. This is the same on mobile as well, so you don't have to scroll to get the add to cart, okay? This is like your prime digital real estate, and you want to be able, in this first frame, whether that's a mobile section, or desktop, you need ideally for them to be able to add it to the cart in there without having to scroll. Again, we're thinking about a customer's experience and speeding things up and reducing friction, because think about it, the principle is money loves speed, hates friction, and it's the same online. So pay attention to the details, because if you don't, your customers will, and will cost you dearly on the back end. Shop pay, brilliant, really good, just seamless, easy. If someone's bought something from a Shopify store before, it's one less step for them to do because it stores all of that information. The small things, and these are all really small things that when you put them together compound, and they will make a meaningful difference in your web conversion rate. This one, no variants or upsell SKUs. These guys have like upsells as variants. So again, there's nothing here. There's just like random stuff. Again, I don't know why I'm buying this. Never mind buying something else. That has nothing to do with it. And then we've got this one. The SKUs actually, they're actual images as opposed to drop downs. And look at that. Product photography is amazing. Next one, we've got small and formatted text. And then we've got story-led production, site product description. So again, like all of this stuff, different text sizes, different fonts. It's just not nice. Picture doesn't load. You get the idea. Yeah, that attention to detail is key. In the product description for here as well, this isn't just like, here's a Highland cow, it's fluffy and soft, buy it now. It's literally a whole story. Yeah, so good. Really good. And then you've got the offer on there as well, which is perfect. See, this is a good product description. Again, UGC, but it's like proper products. It's not even UGC, it's probably like a proper product picture, but you get the idea, okay? And then you've got your reasons to buy on the bottom, and this is the strong thing, and this is what you're looking for, is the why. Remember, the right why will overcome any how. Same in life, same in ecom, okay? No external proofing, so no social proofing. See, that's got it on this one. But I don't know, I just don't think it looks nice at all. Looks like a drop shipping store is the problem. Image doesn't load. This isn't even a picture of the product that we're selling. None of these are the picture of the product. This one is actually. Gaps. So yeah, you get the idea. Just not good. And let's have a look at the UGC on this now. Proper images, looks like proper customers, okay? Out and about in real life. Yep, so much better. So much better. Even just the way it's formatting as well is so much nicer. Get the idea? Again, we don't have to belabor this point too much, but you just understand that the small little differences in quality that stack and compound over time. Formatting we've touched on as well. These guys, the way they use the white space is quite nice. All well formatted, everything's consistent throughout. Yeah, there's not a huge amount of text as well. Everything's just nice, short and concise in the sections, because remember, no one actually reads the text. They'll just glance at it and they pick out the keywords and then they'll move on. Okay, so this external validation side of things as well is really important, and this is why companies like Trustpilot can charge so much for their reviews because it's impossible for the vendor, the brand, to actually manipulate and change things. Whereas on most review sites, you can literally just write your own reviews or just like run a test order through or something and then have it as a verified review. And I think customers pick up on that as well. So again, let me show you what I mean. No names. Again, even just things like having the name on as well, I think is really important. And contrast this one over to this. We've got like proper pictures, okay? So not to have a huge amount of reviews, but the fact that they've got this in here gives that extra layer of confidence to the consumer that these reviews are actually real, okay? They're not just made up, they haven't just been fabricated by whoever set the brand up. They haven't just been ripped off someone else's site and then implemented into their own, okay? Just another level. It's just you going above and beyond at every possible opportunity. That's what I'm saying. It looks like fake reviews. These are like proper real, authentic UGC, which comes across to customers, and it will, trust me, particularly so if you're super specific in your niche and customers are looking for a certain type of social proofing. It comes across, trust me, they will know, they'll recognize it straight away. Something that we can overlook sometimes as brand owners, but it is and does become incredibly important, particularly so if this is the first one or two interactions that someone has had with your product or your brand. Next one, let's have a look. So there's no explainer videos on this one at all. It's just not a nice picture. These probably all look fake anyway or made up. And then again, because it's not mission orientated, there's like very little pull on the selling point, okay? Whereas these guys, as I said, we touched on it before, but they've got like a really nice video on the brand and what they do on the mission, all of that side of things is like super important, okay? I think we touched on it before, so I'll not put it back up again. Upselling unrelated low affinity products. So let's have a look what I mean by this again. So just random things. Why are you showing me this? Don't know. So much like options as well. Like this is the perfect example of paralysis analysis where you've almost got too much going on. And again, I'm not a parent, I don't have a kid, so maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just like really highly biased, but I'm pretty sure you understand what I mean when I'm saying this. Whereas these guys at the bottom, they actually have high affinity products. So if you don't like this, maybe you're gonna like a different type of cow, for example. And because they don't have a massive SKU list, everything is intrinsically linked with each other. Okay, talked about the mission, we've gone over that at length. There's no clear why and who, so like who set the brand up, why do they exist, what's the story. Like this is just like a for-profit dropshipping brand, and it's very obvious that's what it is. Whereas the other guys literally have all the way throughout like the whole story and their why. And this theme carries through on the front end and on the back end, and also in the ads as well, so you have that clear point of differentiation. Even though you're selling, or these guys are selling essentially the same category of product, one does a very good job of it and built a brand around it in a story, whereas the other one just goes straight for the kill, means you're probably going to get one sale one time if you're very lucky, and then you will never hear or see from that customer ever again, okay? Whereas these guys, because they're mission orientated, they have everything intrinsically linked together. This is the type of brand where you buy once and you come back again, or you come back and buy the cap, or you come back and buy the bracelet, some of the attire, because you're not just buying the product, you're buying the solution to a big global problem. Okay, so that's that strong why. And I know I mentioned it before, but brands like Patagonia have done a really good job in a very competitive market space, and this is how they've done it and executed. Okay, again, like this whole thing on the discounts, I get like super head up on it, but like do not lead with discounts. There's no need for it. Okay, it devalues your brand, it devalues your product, and also it just, from a customer's perspective, you're going to get the wrong type of customer. The principle I've noticed in e-com is the customer who pays the least complains the most. Okay, you get low value customers. Their expectations are up here, and then the slightest little thing, they're going to do a chargeback and they're going to kick off. They're going to want a refund. You know what I mean? You want to be able to have a good bit of price, a kind of price built in, not just from a sustainability perspective for your brand, because you need this to make profit after you've factored in your acquisition cost, but also this needs to be something that actually gives that portrayal of value to your consumer as well. Like they're not just buying trash. Yeah, particularly so when they're spending like 30-40 bucks on a cuddly toy, when they could probably just go to the store and buy one for like $1 or $2, okay? Like you have to have a strong reason and why. And sometimes the pricing can be used in your advantage, because you can build in so many more elements as to like why they should buy from you specifically, what's unique, what's different, why is it better, as opposed to just buying something from like the normal store, etc. And again, this brand do a very good job of it, and the way that they architect the whole journey and the story and the mission, and the product actually looks like it's really good quality as well. So they put the time into R&D to make sure that this is something that customers aren't going to be disappointed in. Okay, so yeah, and just the point on the discounts, I don't want to belabor it too much, but use discounts strategically. Okay, and what I mean by that is, first and foremost, you need enough meat on the bones on your product to actually make this a sustainable product. Okay, if you're just barely breaking even and you just get one-time purchases, like, that is not a fun business to run. It's not even a business, it just owns you. You're constantly on the acquisition cycle. It will never free you from your time. It will never make you rich. No one's ever going to want to buy the brand, okay? Whereas if you have a product that actually has meat on the bones, and by meat on the bones, I mean it actually has high profitability, that then means you're able to scale the brand, you're able to make profit, okay? But to do that, you need to position the brand in a completely different way, okay? And think about the customer's why and really develop that, okay? If you go in with discounts, use them at certain points. I'm not saying don't use them at all. I'm saying give customers a reason and an excuse. So for example, use it strategically. Once they're in the abandoned cart series, or they're in your welcome series, after email 3 or 4, then it's okay to start introducing them, okay? Because this is when you start to lower the risk, because they haven't bought yet. That doesn't mean they're not going to buy at all, okay? Don't devalue your product by leading with discounts. Use them strategically, have it all mapped out, and also make sure, like, it's fine if a customer is like 6 or 7 emails deep and they still haven't purchased. You have nothing to lose by offering a 10, 20, even 30% discount, because they weren't going to buy it anyway, but you've already paid for them to come to your website, okay? But if you lead with that straight away, then your margin's gone and the customer will value your product and your brand a lot less. For me, if a brand is discounting, it means it's about to go out of date. They have a lot of inventory that they can't sell, or they just can't sell it at all. So again, just think about it. Because we're building a brand, we're not on this pump and dump thing. We actually have a product that solves a very real problem that doesn't need to be discounted. The problem the customers have, the pain is so high that they're happy to pay whatever it's worth. Yes, if they can get like an extra 10, 20% perfect, but just don't lead with that. Build it in further down the chain. And trust me, it will really make for a much better all-round experience for you as a brand owner. And that's pretty much it, to be fair. This was just like a random Sunday afternoon musings that I thought I'd make a quick document on. It just took me 20 minutes to look through once I was in the algorithm. Anyway, I'm going to keep creating videos like this because my mission is to help guys who are in this pump and dump cycle of finding and selling terrible products and then wondering why it's not working, and blaming the product or the market, or blaming the systems, the infrastructure, the ads. Like, it's not the systems, it's you. It's up to you to actually understand where you're going wrong. And for some, you need good people around you. And this is why I've created my school community, which is very low cost, and you get direct help from myself. But if you have a store that's already ticking, so say 3 to 5K, you can actually work with me directly one-to-one now. The only thing you need to do is DM me on Instagram, the word scale, okay? All the information is in the link in the description, okay? Now, I really want you guys to let me know what other videos you want me to put out, because I'm on like a big mission here to help those who are kind of stuck in that pump and dump cycle. They can't get things going and they wonder why. Like, trust me, as I said before, success leaves clues. Model the traits of the greats. Stand on the shoulders of giants, okay? I'm here to help you, so feel free to use me as a resource, either in my school community if you're just getting started, or if you're wanting to scale to 6 figures a month, that's 100K plus a month in 90 days. This is what I've specialized in, okay? So click the link in the description. If you're not ready yet, join the school community, and worst case scenario, still leave a comment and letting me know what type of videos you want me to put out, okay? I'm kind of full stack experience in e-com. I've done it for 10 years. I've had to learn everything myself, okay? So hopefully this can be a good resource for you. Thank you so much for your attention, guys. Have a good one.